Okay, so you know how like the world's on fire? I feel like this year, I mean, every year feels like it gets exponentially worse than last year, doesn't it? Am I tripping? So with everything happening in the Middle East, one thing that fascinates me is you know how they're trying to get a lot of people out. Are you familiar with the term expats?
Yes.
So these are immigrants from like oftentimes wealthier countries who go to poorer countries either for like tax purposes, quality of life purposes. You can pick your choice. There's a bunch of expats who are stuck in the Middle East. In some situations and in many situations, like they're not paying taxes back home.
No.
Okay? Now the UK government is mobilizing to get these people out of their situation. And in my head, I'm thinking, how the fuck are these people not going to pay taxes? Not going to be financially involved in my country. They go and they run away with their wealth to be able to avoid taxes, but our military that we fund is going to go over there to save them.
And it just looks bad because these people, even though they're not paying their taxes, they're still part of the country, and it looks bad. It's a PR thing. Oh, those people, they're still our people. That's how they're going to feel. Does it make sense? No. Is it logical? No. And that's inhumane to have our people out there not being saved when we can save them.
Yeah, hell no. If you want to leave the country to avoid paying your taxes so you can, do your whole I'm a rich person, cool. Then you don't deserve our services.
Yeah, but there's always it depends how you do it. Because there's a legal way to avoid your taxes. If you avoid taxes like a poor person and you don't pay your taxes, then you should be jailed. But if you avoid paying taxes like a rich person, then it's okay. That's how people view it. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
Sure. But that's not the point. The point is it's an issue with the system. And the reason why we pay taxes is to have these services. You can't avoid these taxes and then benefit from the exact system that was put in place to rescue people in dire circumstances. You've abdicated your portion of it, which is okay. You have the right to. But if you do that, you shouldn't then rely on that very system to come save you.
Why is it that British taxpayers are paying to protect tax exiles in Dubai and elsewhere in the Middle East? So Ed joins me now. Ed, I suppose the answer is because they're British.
Yes, we should protect them. I was really clear in the House that we absolutely owe a duty to them. They are British. But I think it's also a duty for the rest of our country that they pay their taxes. And I think many people have been rather alarmed, you've mentioned it yourself, that we are now going to pay for them to be protected, rightly, but they should start paying. I think it's a complete principle that we should all agree with. If they benefit from that protection, they should contribute towards it.
So they're contributing really towards the defence side of public spending. Does this mean some kind of exit tax for people proposing to leave the UK?
There's many ways one could do it. If you look at the way America does it, there's no exit tax. It's how they are taxed on their income. And so we could learn from the American system and get all the details right. But the principle that they should pay if they're benefiting from British armed forces, brave British soldiers and airmen, it surely should be a consensus point.
But I think that's a reasonable thing. And I think the Americans do have a correct system in which they're just like, well, fuck that. You're just going to pay on your worldwide income. And if you want to hold your passport and all the benefits that come with the passport, the access to embassies, the consulates, all the rescue systems, all that involved, you can have access to it. But we're going to tax you no matter where you go. And I think that's a good thing. And I don't even know why that's even that much of a hot take. I think this whole idea of like tax havens is a pretty nasty thing to me.
How much taxes do you think Trump pays? Not a lot. Because he's avoided taxes like a rich person. And everybody's like kind of okay with that. They're like, man. But if you just go and be a rapper and just don't pay your taxes and you got all that money and you're blinging, you're avoiding taxes like a poor person. And that's bad.
So sarcasm aside, what's your opinion?
Oh, yeah, fuck them people. It's like, yeah. If you're asking me what I think, yeah, no. I'm like, that's crazy. All of a sudden you're like, oh my God, please. You wanted it to escape. I get it.
Complain all the time, right? Like, oh, taxes this, taxes that. Fuck it, these services are trash. So what do? They look up countries that are tax havens. They go there. If you abdicate your responsibilities financially to go save yourself some money, so you want to avoid taxes, in my opinion, I don't give a shit if we leave you there. I don't give a shit.
Don't do that. No.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You can't say that.
I can, and I will. And I'll repeat it. Don't tell me what I can't say. Don't tell me what I can't say. I said it, and I'll say it again. I don't give a shit.
We don't care.
Let me tell you.
We don't care.
No. My ideal situation is that we close these loopholes. Listen, when I pay my taxes, I do so, not saying that everything tax-wise is amazing, but I do so with the understanding that, you know, this is going to help our infrastructure. This is going to set up our country in a way that we're going to have access to certain services. And I take that financial hit knowing that, so that when a crisis hits, I'm expecting us to have some relief funds. I'm expecting us to have the emergency services. They've abdicated that. Part of why they even make it like lucrative to go to these countries for these tax havens is because they give you reduced services. You made your choice. And someone said, Abba, do you expect your government to spend my taxes wisely? Governments are not built for efficiency, okay? Like this whole government is not a business. A lot of government investments are not made for the purpose of guaranteeing a return on investment. And it's how they end up coming with a lot of cures. When governments finance like science in many ways, a lot of it goes nowhere, but they also create things that are a betterment of social good long term. So this whole talk of like government efficiency, of course, there's always ways in which like they fund infrastructure that you would like to be better.
No, not that I disagree with you. That I'm saying it could be efficient if they were doing what you want to do. Like if they would actually be like, if you go over there and pay your taxes over there, that means that you renounce to whatever service. That means that you cannot get a jail-free card. So that we keep the money. We're not going to spend money to save you. We're going to spend money to save the people that actually spend the money here. So it would work. It would actually be efficient. But as you said, because it is not made to be efficient, they are going to go save the people that are out there and represent the country, even though they're not paying taxes. Why? Because they don't look good. That's the reason why.
I disagree that it doesn't look good. I think it looks exponentially worse, in my opinion. And I think a lot of people would agree, to help use our tax dollars that we pay into to save people who are avoiding their taxes. Yeah, I do think that's exponentially worse. And I don't even think that's an unpopular take. My goal is not to like, yo, all these people, my goal is to close these loopholes. People think like if you're a citizen, you just get access to everything. Like, no, there are responsibilities that come with that. And if you don't follow those responsibilities, these laws, these setups, then, you know, you get jailed. And I think one of those civic responsibilities is you pay your taxes. So close the loopholes.
That's the reason why they called it, embezzlement. You stole. You stole the rich way, but you stole. Rich people just gentrify what poor people do, and they make it legal. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely. No, the tax avoidance, 100%. And like people think what I'm saying is crazy, but a lot of countries already have that. If you are an American citizen, for example, and if you go abroad, but you still have income from the U.S. or whatever, there's actually tax. They don't just let you just willy-nilly use your American passport to your benefit, yet to use that name whenever you want and have zero responsibility with that. That's not how that works. I think as someone at my income level, these kinds of loopholes are perfect for me. And I'm telling you, I've had accountants approach me, tell me like, oh, you could avoid like this. I'm like, I know I could do a lot of things, but some of it is just outright fucked up. Like the way, like the more money you make, how much you can avoid in taxes is crazy. And the idea that you can do all of this, abdicate all these responsibilities and still feel like you're entitled to these services, to me is nasty. You know, when we talk about Dubai, for example, there's an irony to me because they're signing up knowing what it is. Like when you go to Dubai, for example, you'll never become a citizen.
You can marry.
I think through marriage, I can't remember, so I don't want to speak on that, but I'm very confident even through that it can be iffy, all right? You go there with zero taxation. You have a certain quality of life, a Western approach, fucking influencers, all scammers, they all go there for a reason. They want to make as much money while paying into the system as little as possible. They don't go there for the quality of life. They go there for the tax haven aspect of it. Amazing. Go enjoy it. But understand, since you're not a citizen, there's certain things that are going to be denied to you. They accept that. They've abdicated their country. They left to go there. Go enjoy your life.
I understand why there's tax havens. I understand where it's from, but I do understand that. Like when people say tax the rich, I don't really care if they tax the rich. My problem is that I want to know and I want to see where my money is going. That's my only issue. My issue is not whether they tax you or not. My issue is like, yo, I want you guys to be able to channel these funds that we're all giving in the proper way. And that's what pisses me off more when it's just used blatantly. So if you're going to get and try to recuperate people that do not pay their taxes, it's like having their cake and eating it too. Then I have an issue with that. Mm-hmm. You're not paying your taxes abroad and you're getting saved. I'm paying my taxes here and I'm getting fucked. You know what I mean?
What do you mean you're paying your taxes here and you're getting fucked?
I'm paying my taxes here, not getting the service that I can have here because it's not well managed. Yet you're abroad, not paying your taxes. Shit goes down, and you're gonna get a get out of jail free card.
Sure.
You're gonna use my funds.
Super
But
real.
here, I don't have the normal fucking fundings or the normal services that I'm supposed to have. That's crazy.
And a part of that is also tax evasion. If you knew how
Yes,
much
a part of that
if you knew how underfunded a lot of these systems were, in large part because of the fact that so many people do avoid their taxes either through their corporations and how they move them to specific headquarters, we lose so much money just to tax evasion of itself. So I think it's a fair thing to say on your part that's like, I want to make sure I'm getting what I'm paying for. But the problem is it relies on everyone else to also pay their part. And that is something that hasn't happened for a very long time. And I don't know if it ever will again, because it just seems like rich people are very much entrenched in government and making sure their loopholes are always taken care of. Because some corporations literally will have like 30, 40, 100 employees in a country and pay zero tax on all the profit that they make through their corporations because they're headquartered in a specific spot. So,
I don't consider myself poor, but the government and the system always ask poor people to do the most when the big ones, the big companies, the people that are rich, are asked to do less.
Yeah.
There was an interesting meme that I saw this week, but it really embodies what I'm just saying right now. They said, "Oh, I'm drinking my drinks in a soggy straw, and then fucking straw that is just decomposing in my mouth to save the planet," which is what they're asking you to do, right?
Yep.
While you're fucking up the whole world by the millions, and it's what it is. Like, we have to do compost, we have to recycle, but a big company that's gonna come in your country is gonna be like, yeah, but I'm employing your people. Let me just dunk all that toxic shit in your water. Oh yeah, sure. We're gonna turn a blind eye. It's always the poor people that always pay.
One of the underhanded reasons of why I like where I live is I don't got to worry about a civil war breaking out. I don't got to worry about living next to a nation that might start bombing the shit out of me because they got conflict. I just don't have to really worry about that. And, I've been asked before, oh, Abba, would you move back to Ethiopia? Would you move back to here? Would you take your money and go to Dubai? And I said no every time. And a lot of people don't get why I said no, but having lived in Ethiopia, grown up over there, I tell them the same thing I say every time. It's like, everything is great till it's not. And when it's not great, it really isn't great. Having been lived through civil unrest to the point where people are picking up guns and shooting people in the streets, where checkpoints exist, I've lived through a lot. I understand what it means to live in a country where your money goes really far. So like if I take my income and I go to Ethiopia, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I'm a king. I have a couple maids, a guard, a couple houses, outhouses. Shit, there's a lot you can do with the kind of money, even 1/10 of what I make. You can do a lot over there. But I
there's a
also
lot you
know
can't.
that inequality. I know that lack of social cohesion. I know what it means to live in these kind of tribalistic societies that have very antagonistic issues with neighboring countries and not really the same norms that we have here. I know how things can change fast. And when it goes south, you get a day or two. What I don't like is that you take that trade-off, you avoid your taxes, you enjoy the benefits, and you enjoy none of the downsides. No, bitch. You want to eat dessert every night? Get your diabetes. Fuck that. Fuck that. If you want to do this whole setup where you get to, oh, I'm a king, I'm a queen. Okay, then another king is knocking at your door. Figure out whose kingdom is going to last.
This thing just said, you want to eat your... Why'd you got to bring diabetes in this shit? Why? No disrespect.
You hear this a lot, especially after moving to Canada. I hear it all the time. Oh, the West is this, the West is this. I'm like, okay, so what's wrong with the East? They're like, nothing. What's wrong with the Middle East? Nothing. It's amazing. And I always ask, like, did you have to live through the reason why why your parents became refugees? Did you have to live through why your parents became refugees? No. Did you have to live through why so many of your people are in Exodus? Did you have to live through any of that? Do you even know how quickly no? So then shut the fuck up. If you don't really fucking know the reality, you haven't lived it. But when your people are fucking being gunned down in the street because they're part of a specific ethnic group or something else that's retarded, yeah, that's part of the trade-off.
Amen.
Even owning a passport is such a fucking privilege. I say this, in all the privileges you can have in life, a good passport is top 5. It is right up there with finances. It is right up there with health. It is right up there with safety. A good passport will open the world to you. And you don't know it until you live in these countries where you can go fucking nowhere without applying for a 1-year visa and everything involved. So,
not every passport is equal. Not every passport.
No.
You know, it's the people that don't travel that don't care.
Yeah.
The people that don't travel and they've been born in the right quote unquote place. They're like, man, but if you travel, you understand, or you travel with people that don't have the same passport as you, they're like, oh shit, like we friends and we have a lot of things in common. But when it comes to this traveling thing, I go over here and they go that line, and that line is going to take hours. And this line here, well, I got my Nexus, so I'm good. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I was going to say, I'm so glad my parents, when I was really young, shipped me from Canada back to Ethiopia. And the reason why is because living there for a long time and just spending time around people, I got to see what their because I still had my Canadian passport since I was born in the right spot. But once I went over there, I got to see what everyone else got to live with. Even those who got some money, that passport fuck you over. And it is hard to appreciate something you were born into.